So growing up, one thing my dad always did that I thought was cool, he did his own oil changes. I wanted to tackle the process for this video, but I've got one problem. I'm not really a car guy. Luckily my brother Steven is, so I asked him to come over and show me how to do it. Turns out it's really easy, and doing it yourself saves you a ton of time and money. Before we get started, here are the things you'll need. A new oil filter, new engine oil, an oil filter wrench, a socket wrench, an oil drain pan, a funnel, and some gloves and shop rags for cleanup. Warm up the car for a few minutes. This helps to thin out the oil for easier draining, but don't get the engine too hot. To jack up the car, Steven and I used these ramps that I borrowed from who else? My dad. Steven put the parking brake on, and I made sure to chock the rear wheel to ensure that the car was secure. Now, we needed to drain the old oil, so we found the drain plug underneath and put our oil pan directly below it. We used a socket wrench to loosen the plug. It took a little persuading, but we got the drain plug loose by hammering a little on the wrench. We definitely underestimated the angle that the oil would flow out, so we spilled a little on the driveway. We'll talk about cleaning that up later. We let the oil drain completely. Next, we removed the old oil filter with an oil filter wrench. My dad always used one that looked like this, but Steven brought this fancy one that attaches to the bottom of the filter, so we used that. Again, this took a little persuading, but we got it to work. We unscrewed the old filter and we were ready with the drain pan underneath. To install the new filter, we rubbed a little bit of new oil on the gasket ring. This helps to create a good seal. Then we screwed it on. You're supposed to do this by hand, so we probably went a little overboard with the filter wrench here. We put the oil drain plug back in, and we were ready to add the new oil, and that's when we realized we didn't have a funnel. So we improvised. We cut the top off a windshield washer fluid bottle and turned it upside down. It worked perfectly, but it had to be held in place. Steven's car called for just under 5 quarts of oil, so that's what we added. The oil was in, and the last thing we needed to do was check the levels. To do this, we pulled out the dipstick, wiped it off, put it back in, and then pulled it out to see the level. You know you're good to go when the oil is between the 2 marks on the dipstick. And it's that easy. We did this whole process in less time than it would have taken to drive to an oil change shop. You always want to dispose of your old oil properly, and most auto parts stores will recycle it for free. Oh, remember how we spilled some oil on the driveway from before? Well, to clean that up, I just used some dish soap, the blue kind. I squirt it on there and then spray it off with the hose. It works great. Thanks for tuning in to DadBuilt DIY. If you found this video helpful, give us a like and hit subscribe for more DIY tips and tricks. See you next time.